Hi, it's David with the RV Bushcrafters channel. We're about to make a fire in the rain underneath the tarp. So we're talking about real conditions here, real rain, real challenges. I even have a thunderstorm going on. And I don't recommend building a fire out in the woods during a thunderstorm. But I judged it was far enough away and the trees were dense enough that I was probably okay. But nonetheless, it's not the safest thing in the world to do. So not a recommendation. I do want to ask or talk about why we practice a primitive and pre-modern fire. And it's not so much the fact that you're going to use a primitive or pre-modern fire in real conditions, although you might, but it's more about understanding fire, how it works and how to get it going, how to create a coal, get that coal into a tinder bundle, get that tinder bundle into a flame, apply the appropriate size kindling to it, and then eventually the appropriate size wood to produce a fire. And the thing is, if you can use primitive or primitive, meaning like a bow and drill or a hand drill or a fire saw or a fire plow, whatever your choice is, or you can use some pre-modern technique like I'm going to use today, such as the flint and steel, or in my case, flint and quartz. If you understand fire well enough to start a fire like that in less than ideal conditions, which is what you're going to see here, then you can pretty much start a fire with modern techniques pretty much anywhere. And therein lies the value. So just to let you know, my pants do get wet. I keep my upper body dry, but in rainy conditions, it is a challenge. Let's get started. Okay, so we're having a bit of a thunderstorm. We got moderate rain. I'm underneath trees, so the rain underneath here is a lot less than it is outside the trees. My sticks here are damp to wet. But we're going to see if we can't get a fire going. Because this is realistic conditions. Rain, going to use a flint and steel. Going to use a flint and steel and char cloth, and I only have a relatively small amount of char cloth. So here are my kindling sticks here. I need to move down a little bit. Yeah, so here are my kindling sticks, and I'm in the leaves, so it's very important to stay organized and not lose anything. Like for example, if I drop my quartz in the leaves and can't find it, then I'm got to find a different method to make my fire. So what I have here is I've kept some dry tinder, and inside this aluminum foil I rolled up some punk wood to help keep things going because it's damp. And I got a pretty good sized piece of char cloth there. And my hands are damp, and I don't really have a way of drying them off while it's raining like this. I'm going to tear this charcoal in half in case we have a failure. I get a second chance at it. I'm going to set that right there. It'll stay dry. And I've got my tinder here. Tinder bundle is even a little damp. So we need to get these fibers spread out here. It's going to be very important for us to get this fire to a temperature quickly where it can sustain itself, meaning that it's got to be hot enough to dry the fuel so it can combust and the fire not go out. So got a piece of dry ground there. I'm using fiber from a hemp rope, but you can use cedar. Works equally well, if not better, for this. And we will see what we can do. The rain is letting up a little bit. I guess that's a good thing. Let's see if we can ignite this char cloth. Here we go, we got a corner there that's ignited. I'm gonna put my punk wood on the inside of here, lay my char cloth on top of it, and let's give it some insulation. Keep the heat in so we can get it to ignition temperature. So the plan here is this char cloth is going to ignite the punk wood. The punk wood should stay hot enough to dry out the slightly damp tinder so it can combust. And then we have some damp leaves, and we'll put those on top. See if we can't get this going. Get this more enclosed if we can. Got to start out blowing lightly because you can literally blow it out or smother it. And I've got the tiny sticks in my hand ready to go. Once the tinder bundle ignites, I'm going to go ahead and put these sticks on here, let them start to dry. Not getting ignition here. Might be due to dampness. This shows the importance of a cold extender, particularly in damp conditions like this when you need all the heat from the coal you can get. This one's going to be challenging. We came close to losing our coal, but getting it back. Humidity is very high. Now we're getting back to building some temperature. Done that again a little too quickly. Let's see if we get a little more air in here. We burned out the bottom of our tinder bundle without getting it to catch. Not a good thing. Woof. All right, now got a nice little core of a fire going there. If we can keep it sustained. So as you can see, getting it going and keeping it going. Can be quite difficult when all you got is wet materials, or damp materials in this case, some of them wet. Trying to strike a balance between adding fuel and keeping the air flowing. When you get to the point where you have sticks that were damp to wet and they are staying ignited, you know you're winning the battle. So there we go. Got caught out in the rain. Put up a tarp before it started raining too hard, but most of the materials around got wet before it could do a lot about it. But nonetheless, with the tarp cover keeping the rain off the fire and getting the wood even damp to wet and taking it from the stages of coal to tinder, from coal to tinder to flame to tiny kindling, and then building up. We now have a self-sustaining fire here that we could keep adding wood to and keep it going. But so this is a good demonstration, I think, of life in the real world, and we will catch you in the next video.